Hello everybody, I am Assemblywoman Sharon Quirk-Silva and I want to read you a story that is a little bit like my job. The title is called Capitol Kitty and it's adventures of a cat that lives in the Capitol. And I actually work in this building, and this story was written by Sharon Davis, the same name as mine, Sharon, but Davis is the last name of a governor, and that is the wife of a former governor. And she wrote a story about a cat who lived around the Capitol for about 10 years. So this is called Capitol Kitty. And there he is with the Capitol behind him. And Capitol Kitty likes to hang around the Capitol. So you can see in this picture that Capitol Kitty is watching the people go to work. Capitol Kitty lived under a windowsill behind the bushes in front of a large stone building that just happened to be the state capitol of California. All day long, Capitol Kitty watched over her kingdom. All the flower beds, monuments, and trees that surrounded the Capitol building were part of her kingdom. Every morning and every night, Capitol Kitty stood in her special spot near the entrance of the Capitol, greeting all the employees like a queen reviewing her royal subjects. So there she is, kind of saying hi. One day, as she was enjoying her dinner, Capitol Kitty was distracted by a strange sound coming from a nearby flower bed. At first she ignored it, but the meow, meow, hoo just wouldn't stop. It didn't take Capitol Kitty to find a skinny little cat crouching in a flower bed. The strange cat was crying so much that the Capitol Kitty went over and jumped up and said, "What's all this noise about? Stop that immediately." The cat wrapped his paws around his ears as the tears rolled down his cheeks onto his droopy whiskers. And he meowed even louder and trembled so much that even the flowers shook. Capitol Kitty softened her voice. "I'm not going to hurt you," she said. "Tell me why you're making so much noise and maybe I can help you." So she's crying and crying and crying. The cat looked at Capitol Kitty with sad, teary eyes and said in a shaky voice, "Some alley cats pounced on me and chased me, and I ran and ran until I was too tired to run anymore. And now you'll probably make me go away too. Meow, meow." Have you ever felt scared by somebody who's bothering you? Well, that's how this kitty feels. Capitol Kitty wanted to keep Capitol Park herself, but she didn't want to act like the mean alley. How could she get rid of her unwelcome guests? So Capitol Kitty wants to help this kitty, but she likes being the only cat in Capitol Park. Capitol Kitty thought and thought, and finally she came up with a plan. If she took the young cat into the Capitol building, they would be chased out immediately. Then the scared little cat would run far, far away, and Capitol Kitty would have the park all to herself. Capitol Kitty offered the scrawny cat some of her food and asked, "Do you have a name?" The little cat looked down at the ground. "I don't have a name or a home. I just run from place to place. I'm scared of everything. They call me Scaredy Cat." Have you ever known somebody who's scared to have a home? I know there's people like that. "Well, but you can call me D-Cat," he added shyly, "if you want to." "Then that's what I'll call you, and you can call me Capitol Kitty." "Why do they call you that?" asked D-Cat. "Well, don't you know where you are?" asked Capitol Kitty, proudly puffing his chest. "This is the capital of the great state of California, and a very important place to be. It has been here for more than 130 years. And there has always been a cat to watch over the park, and now I'm the Capitol Kitty. I've seen lots of big buildings. Why is the Capitol so important, asked D-Cat. This building is the government house for the state. All of the important work of the state is done by representatives who have been elected by the people. Capitol Kitty began to explain. Then she remembered her plan. Remember I said my name was Assemblymember Mrs. Quirk-Silva? Well, I've been elected by the people to represent the 65th district. But remember, Capitol Kitty only wants to be the big cat at the state and really doesn't want D-Cat there. So she remembered her plan. Why don't I show you around? You mean we can go inside? D-Cat asked in amazement. Of course, just follow me. Together, the two cats walked right up to the door. There were so many people leaving that it was easy to scurry in. Just as Capitol Kitty had planned, the Capitol police officer stationed near the door shouted, "Hey, you cats, you don't belong here. Out, out." So he's telling them to get out. But instead of running outside, far, far away, D-Cat bolted up the stairs, totally surprised Capitol Kitty, and ran after him. The police officer chased after the cat, shouting, "Stop!" On the second floor, D-Cat ran to the end of the hall and slid across the wax floor into a huge, large chamber, followed by Capitol Kitty and the police officer. Now, if you have never ever been in the state capitol, the rugs and the carpets have different colors, and they have all these beautiful wood and lights and patterns on the floor. And they do officers there trying to keep the building safe. Oh my goodness. If you can believe it, this is the place I work with the green curtains because I'm an assembly member. It was the state assembly chamber. The assembly members were voting on a bill that could become a law. The cats and the police officer ran through the green carpeted chamber between the antique desks. Papers flew, people shouted, and someone pounded a gavel to try to bring the chamber to order. D-Cat led Capitol Kitty out of the side door, then continued down another hall. More police joined the chase, and so did a specially trained police dog. Uh-oh. So they're running right here, and I sit in a desk just like this. A very old desk. The long hall led to the other side of the Capitol building and to the state Senate chamber. And look, this carpet's red, and these drapes are red too. That means it's the Senate side. The senators were inside listening to an important speech when the two cats burst into the room, followed by the police and the dog. The cats ran under a row of desks, knocking into the legs of confused senators, and the senators lifted up their feet. They lifted their feet up in surprise and afraid to stop Capitol Kitty, just followed by D-Cat. When they reached the last eggs, they leaped onto a chair, the two cats, and then over a railing and out the back door, somehow managing to escape. These cats are pretty fast. The police were shouting, the police dog was barking, the chase continued down the staircase and into the main corridor of the Capitol. Oh my goodness. They are still running around this Capitol. The cats were both so scared they ran through a set of large double doors. Surely this was the way out, but as soon as they went through them, Capitol Kitty realized they had gone the wrong way. Again, the police and the dog were so close that there was no turning back. As the cats raced through the office, assistants yelled and scrambled all out of their way. Finally, they entered a large office with a long table surrounded by important-looking people. Just as the police were about to grab the cats, Capital Kitty and D-Cat jumped onto the long table and slid all the way to the end, landing on the lap of the... Who do you think would be in the biggest office in the Capitol? I'll give you a clue. It starts with a G. They landed in the lap of the governor. The governor leaped out of his seat in surprise, and the cats tumbled to the floor. They scrambled to their feet and raced out of their door just as the governor's security office joined the others in the chase. So that would be the governor when his wife Sharon wrote this book, and that's what he looked like. And his name was Gray Davis. The cats dashed under the staircase and into a nearby janitor's closet. They crouched down low, holding their breath. The police, the dog, and the security officers running upstairs to the second floor. Do you see the trouble you got us into? Capital Kitty said in a huff. Me? You're the one who said we could come inside, replied D-Catty. D-Cat, Capital Kitty remembered her plan. You're right, she paused. I thought I could scare you away and have Capitol Park all to myself again. D-Cat's head hung low. I thought you were different from the other cats. I thought you were special. Now I see that you're just as mean as the rest of them. Have you ever made a friend and very nice to you and you got sad? That's how deep it's feeling. Capital Kitty looked away, embarrassed. She had always thought of herself as special. The people who worked outside the Capitol treated her like she was different from other cats, but she didn't feel very special now. She thought about it for a moment and said in a quiet voice, I'm sorry. I never should have tried to send you away. D-Cat stayed silent. Capital Kitty tried again. You know, you did a pretty good job of getting away from the police and that pesky dog. You have a real talent for getting around. D-Cat pouted. So I can run from place to place. What good is that? Did you know, said Capital Kitty, that there have been great explorers, and that is just what they do. They go from place to place, discovering new things and finding new places. How can I trust you after what you did to me? Asked D-Cat, still upset. She's still a little bit mad at Capital Kitty. Isn't there anything I can say that will make you trust me again? Said Capital Kitty. D-Cat shook his head stubbornly. No. Capital Kitty was silent for a moment. Then she said, well, then I'll just have to prove it to you. We'll go as soon as it's... Now, Capital Kitty really wants to be friends with D-Cat. When the Capitol was finally quiet, Capital Kitty pushed open the door and said, come on, I have something to show you. D-Cat followed her cautiously. That's a really big word, cautiously. That means carefully. The two cats crept through the dark building. Finally, they came to a large room under a high dome. In the center stood a statue of a man kneeling to a woman in a long gown. So there he's kneeling. She's got something on her head. What do you think she might be? Capital Kitty pointed to the statue. That man is an explorer named Christopher Columbus, she said. He's asking Queen Isabella of Spain for permission to travel and discover new places. What he did was very special. Even though he lived more than 500 years ago, children still learn about him in school. And we want kids to learn about Christopher Columbus, but we also want them to learn about the Native Americans in California who had many Indian tribes across California. D-Cat looked up at the statue in astonishment. And he stayed there for a long time thinking about the great explorer and imagining his adventures. And this is down in the building. If you go, it's still there, this statue. Once the cats were back outside and under the protection of the bushes, Capital Kitty quickly went to sleep. But D-Cat stayed awake all night thinking about what had happened. By the time the sun came up, D-Cat had made it. It was time for him to go. And for the first time, he wasn't afraid. He was excited about all the new things in the world to see and do. He would be an explorer. Before I go, I think I need a new name. What do you think of the name Traveler? He asked Capital Kitty. I like it, she said. It suits you. By now, Capital Kitty was a little sad to see the young cat go. Will you promise to come back and tell me about your travels? Of course I will, said Traveler, but no more tours of the capital. Agreed, said Capital Kitty. So what's the new name for the cat? It was first Scaredy Cat, then D-Cat, and now Traveler. It looks to me like D-Cat got courage and feels more confident. Capital Kitty watched Traveler march across the wide lawn and on out into the world. She had the capital all to herself again, but she was going to miss her new friend. Soon she heard the people arriving for work at the Capitol. Quickly, Capital Kitty scurried to her special place near the entrance and settled into once again watching over her kingdom. And there goes D-Cat, but now D-Cat's name is Explorer, not Explorer, Traveler. And there is Capital Kitty. It's actually the real kitty. It says Capital Kitty, also known as Kitty, has made the California State Capitol her home for the past 10 years. She spends her days patrolling the beautiful Capitol grounds and is cared for by the many employees who work in the building. So that is actually a true story. So what do we call a true story? Is it fiction or nonfiction? And remember, this is the cover and this is the authors. Have a great day.